Estevan is his hometown, and after stops with the Saskatoon Blades and Swift Current Broncos, Blair Atcheynum was welcomed with open arms in Moose Jaw, and it's where he became a legend. Current Saskatoon Blades coach and general manager Lord Mulligan says Blair Atcheynum was right for Moose Jaw, and Moose Jaw was right for Blair Atcheynum.
He was a guy that was focused and determined, and, you know, Blair needed someone to believe in him, and once he knew how much we cared about him in Moose Jaw, he became a great player for the Moose Jaw Warriors.
The coach remembers what he first thought of when seeing Blair on the ice.
Well, he was a young guy that was a very powerful skater, and you could see that he had a lot of offensive upside. And, you know, as I got more familiar with Blair, obviously he was a player that you could put into situations that you could trust him in, and certainly did a tremendous job over his years in Moose Jaw.
Coaches are usually the first to evaluate the talent, but Jerome Bichard was on the ice and remembers what he saw.
Well, kind of a big skinny guy that I had to take care of. Big skinny guy, just a great skater, just a smooth player.
Jerome explains what he meant by smooth.
A fluent skater, unlike myself. You know, just everything kind of came naturally. Not blinding speed, but you know what? He's just smooth. He's just a great skater, and he had good moves, and just everything kind of flowed together. You know.
When talking about Blair, Coach Mulligan says his character was second to none.
He's a person that, you know, cared about his teammates and would do whatever he had to do to help them succeed, and certainly he was a leader on our hockey club and did a real good job.
Atcheynum played on a line with Rob Harvey and Jerome Bichard, who says he was the type of guy who made everyone better.
You knew where he was, and you knew when he had the opportunity. When he had the opportunity, he was gonna score, and you know that made everybody look good. And you know what? He brought the level of the game up where, you know, everybody else had to bring their level of game up.
In the locker room, Jerome describes him as a quiet leader.
Well, wasn't the most vocal person. You know, if he had to say something, he would say it. But for the most part, you know, he led by example on the ice, and you know, kind of guys followed.
Bichard remembers him as a guy that may have ruffled a couple of feathers, but it was all for a good cause.
I know he was pretty hard on the rookies, the first-year guys coming in. He made the rookies very accountable, which he probably rubbed a couple of the first-year guys the wrong way, but at the same time, you know what, it made you a better player, a better person, and anything for you, and always like to have a good time, and you know what, came hard to the rink every single night.
On the ice, everyone knew Blair Atcheynum, but off the ice, his billet, Kim Pruden, remembers the first time he came up to their door.
When he showed up at the door, he drove up in an IROC. He had all the best clothes you could ever wear, and of course, I think I might have wrecked up some of his good clothes when I was washing them for him.
As Blair settled into his Moose Jaw home, Kim said it didn't take long for him to become a member of the family.
He was really good with our kids. Our kids looked up to him. He was like a big brother to them. My son used to like to play the Nintendo back then, and of course he played right outside Blair's bedroom door, so Blair would hide his paddles on him so that he couldn't play it.
Just like every other hockey player that has rolled into the city, Kim says that Blair could eat. But one night, he wasn't fast enough at the dinner table.
He liked the best ice cream, he liked the best orange juices, he liked the best steaks. One day he was cutting these steaks on the cutting board, and our dog must have smelt this, and he jumped up, grabbed that steak off the cutting board, and ran out the door, and Blair chased after him with a butcher knife because he had his steak in his mouth. It was the funniest thing.
Now, he may have been a little slow at the table, but Barry Webster says he was definitely quick behind the wheel.
I met the team in Swift Current, and I was pretty tired, and I asked Quizzy at the time I was coaching if he can get a couple of guys to drive my car home, and I'd crawl in the back seat and sleep. Now, I had a Supra at the time, and it had all the gimmicks on it. So anyway, the driver was Blair Atcheynum, and Smokey Reddick was the other one. Well, an hour and 10 minutes later, I woke up at the Civic Center. I know Blair's faster on rubber, than he is on skates.
Blair was drafted by the Hartford Whalers in the third round of the 1989 NHL entry draft and left Moose Jaw after the 88-89 season to start his professional career that would span over a decade. Bichard says it was his work ethic that led to his lengthy career.
You know, he was naturally talented, so everything kind of came easy to him. But you know what? Obviously, he worked hard on and off the ice, took great care of himself, and you know what? You have to do that to get where he went, in the NHL. And
Coach Mulligan can remember having to look after him not only in Moose Jaw, but in Cape Breton in the pros.
His mom and dad and in-laws were down, and we invited them over for Christmas dinner, I believe, and Jason Fitzsimmons, another great Moose Jaw Warrior, kind of made fun of it, that the boys, as soon as the boys found out that they were getting invited for Christmas, he was going to be the coach's favorite. But Jason Fitzsimmons, I believe, played that up pretty good. Not only was Blair and his family invited, but so was Jason.
Blair played in the American Hockey League and National Hockey League with a number of teams, and after retiring, decided to get on the bench. He's currently an assistant coach with the Battleford North Stars of the SJHL, and Bichard says Atch has the makings of a great coach.
You know what? He's just a plethora of knowledge. When I say knowledge, is more of his experiences to excite those players. To tell the story. His first training camp in Hartford. His roommate was Ron Francis. Just all that stuff that excites the young guys, and just to get the opportunity to do that and to pass that knowledge and those experiences off to the young kids.
Blair Atcheynum played 3 seasons with the Warriors from 1986 to 1989. He suited up in 143 games, scoring 105 goals and finished with 189 points. He still holds the team's single-season record for most goals with 70. Jerome Bichard says Blair's induction puts him where he belongs.
I couldn't be more proud to say that I played with Atch, and that he's getting inducted to the Moose Jaw Warrior Hall of Fame. He really deserves it.
His hockey days may have started in Estevan, but today he takes his place among the all-time greats that have played in this city. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the newest member of the Moose Jaw Warriors and Legends Hall of Fame, Blair Atcheynum.